guys, welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Podcast. I'm your host, LaQuinn.
And I'm Jaleesa.
And now I thought we should take the episodes to YouTube.
Yay! In our first episode, we really want to talk about this whole situation with Jada Pinkett Smith and August Alsina, I think his name. You know what? I don't even know who he is or what he do.
You don't know August?
No, is
you
he like
a...
Is he...
Don't
call him... Is he a rapper?
No, he's a singer.
What he saying? Nothing popular.
No, it was a song.
Is he like a new age singer that's like weird?
He's been out in the past 7 years or something, like 5 years.
Give me somebody else that's like him that I know of, like Miguel, Usher.
Yeah, not Usher, Miguel maybe, but
Miguel.
Yeah, he can sing.
So he got vocals.
Yeah, August can sing.
I'll see.
August can sing.
Stop calling him Og, though.
He can sing. I can't remember his hit. He had a crazy hit a few years ago. Not a few, like 4 or 5 years ago. That was all over every radio station.
Really? And I've never heard of him? Like, is it for, like, younger people? Because, you know, I'm 30 and up.
He's young.
How young is he?
He's like 26 now.
Wait! This whole time, I thought he was like 30, 40 years... Not 40, but like 30.
He's 27 years old.
Wow, Jada. All right.
You ain't know
they
that?
Gave me a whole little...
You didn't know that?
That might have swayed my opinion a little bit. It's like, no.
Oh, I love this shit. That was one of his songs. I love this. Never heard of it?
No, you know I'm not cool. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, you would tell.
But anyway, we definitely want to give our thoughts on it. Although I don't know who he is, I know the situation, really? I know the story. I done talked to a few people, got a few opinions, and obviously I know what I think about it. I think it's really great that both myself and LaQuinn are married, so we got a nice little perspective coming here. Yep. And he's a married man, I'm a married woman, so it's going to be a little different.
We've been through a lot in our marriages too.
That part.
What's going on?
The first thing I want to say is I don't really believe that celebrities, marriages, and family stuff is really any of our business. Right. But the fact that they put it on Red Table and already put it out to the public themselves is the only reason I'm going to talk about it.
The only reason they did that because there was like fake pages of them coming out saying like, oh,
they said this
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so they
But I mean, aren't they used to by now? Like, remember it was the whole rumor about like they swingers or something and something like that. They used to their family being under fire for rumors and stuff.
They kind of are swingers, not.
I mean, that's all right. We gonna save that for the stuff. I mean, because that's not a swinger. Swinger means we
a 2-on-2.
No, we both know each other is going to go somewhere else, and we both cool with it.
I thought, that's okay. So
according to the story from the Smiths,
right,
is that they were separated. So I want to start there. Yeah. What do you think about separation in marriage? Because one thing that I saw on Facebook or Instagram or whatever is that a lot of people were saying there's no such thing as separation when you're married. You're either married or divorced. And I think that was coming from more of like a spiritual place. But I mean, if you feel that way, you feel that way.
No, I feel like you separated. You can pretty much do.
What is a separation?
A separation. See, that's the definition that you got to really go into. It's kind of like, are we separating to get back together? Are we separating to trial separation? To divorce,
are we seeing other people during this separation? Or are we freaking other people during this separation?
I was always under the mindset that if I'm separated from my wife, I'm not going to start another relationship. I might.
But you're going to be in these streets?
I might be in these streets.
But then what? I feel like that's
is what makes it like, that's it. Like now I'm starting new with somebody else. If I'm just freaking, I'm freaking. That's what it is.
I mean, but in the Red Table Talk where Jada came and her and Will were discussing everything, they did say that they both agreed to a mutual separation and that they had no plans on ever coming back together. It was like a pre-trial into an actual divorce is where they were going to. So in their minds, it was like, this is done, finito. So I think that is something people are not considering when they be dragging Jada by her edges through these streets.
Jada should be dragged through these streets.
All right, well, give me your opinion on the whole situation.
First and foremost, let's start from the rip. So you took this young man in, right?
Don't say took.
First of all,
I mean, he is young. I didn't know he was that young, though.
They joined him in the tribe. He was cool with their son, with their younger son.
Jaden?
Yes, they were homies.
Oh,
so August Alsina, he was a singer, and one time he collapsed on stage and stuff because he was dehydrated, he was sick and all that stuff. So he had a lot of issues going on.
Okay.
So that's when him and Jane got cool. He came to the house. As Jada already said, he was sick. He was sickly. We nursed him back to health and stuff. He was legit.
Don't act
sick.
like he was a dead baby bird
he
or
was
like
a dead baby bird, broken wing, and all that.
Okay.
And then what makes it worse for me is that me, you, my husband, all that, my family, we in the same compound. We got a compound. You know what I'm saying? August is in here. Okay. If you're gonna mess with somebody else and start a new relationship or whatever, why the young boy that I'm chilling with, I got a nickname for him. Me and him
all right,
cool. We probably play ball.
I get that, but what people don't really, I don't even think it's not that they don't understand. I think this what they're not considering is that the turmoil was already there in Jada and Will's marriage. Okay. Like she was already in it. Like she said, she just wanted to feel good. Like I was tired of feeling whatever she was feeling, and I just want to feel good. So we were just talking about a scenario where a young woman wanted to feel better and went to the very first thing she could find that happened not to be the best situation. But it's like when you're in that situation, you just want something. Like it's like when you in the desert and you thirsty, like I will drink that freaking LaCroix water. LaCroix water is basically the breath of fruit.
I think it's so, cause like it's kind of like you leaving your husband, right? Okay. And his brother around.
Don't say she left though, because it was mutual.
Y'all separate. Y'all choose to separate. Okay. It's some people that should not be messed with, in my opinion. You shouldn't mess with his.
It's somebody that's off limits.
His son, brother, or his let's say his son best friend. You gonna mess with his son best friend that come to the house? We cooked out. He was hanging with us.
I mean, but like, that's speculation because we don't know if they were best friends. And then Jada did say, and I don't want to seem like I'm defending her. It's not really her because I don't really know her personally. Right. It's just the mentality that whenever black women mess up, they get pinned to the wall while everybody else get all these but they probably was mental health issues and there was this and that. But when it's black women, you know, you were horrible. You should be burned at the stake.
What I'm saying is, all right, let's say the roles are reversed, right? Willow brought one of her friends over. Right? They separate. So now you already started changing up. What's up?
I didn't say anything. I'm just laughing.
Her friend was in the whole group. Will is 50-something, however old he is. Shorty, 24 at the time, 23 at the time. He taking advantage of her from the rip, right? That's not, first of all, she's sick.
Let's not, let's put that on the pause for a second. Him being Will Smith. Okay. Any man that dates a younger woman is not always taking advantage.
You don't think so?
I think there are young women or women who are younger who want older. I know for a fact there are women, like I have sisters, cousins, whatever, friends that purposely go after guys 20, 30 years older than them. They are not being taken advantage of. So that being said, we don't know that August was also taken advantage of. He seemed like he was taking advantage.
She said he was sick. She said we had to get him back together.
Okay, and she nursed him. Her whole family nursed him back to health.
The only reason I say she took advantage because look how emotional he was. He was distraught.
I mean,
he didn't understand their life partnership.
But that's what happens when you get.
So you start taking advantage of.
That's what happens when you get entangled with grown women. You go in there thinking you about to be this bull, and then you get sprung, and then now you wide open. You looking for her in the daytime with a flashlight. Is that her fault?
Yeah.
That she put that thing down and he got hooked.
That's taking advantage of. That's literally the.
That's not taking. I mean,
you think it's one thing.
Taking advantage of is like if she climbed on top of him on his sick bed. This is a fully adult male.
He was 23.
Who they had a relationship. It wasn't like they had a one night stand. Maybe I could see what you're saying as far as the taking advantage of if it was a one night stand. They had a full blown relationship. As Will said, I mean, she said entanglement, but Will said like it was definitely a relationship, and she said yes, it was a relationship.
It was a type of relationship. But the fact that, all right,
I think that a lot of men get into these situations with women who are not available, and they think that somehow they're going to magically sway this woman's feelings. And the thing is, when you get involved with women who are already like centered somewhere else. It's roulette. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
So, all right. The only thing about that, Will said Will said he was done with it, right? Boom.
They were both done with each other.
Okay.
It's what they said. I'm going by what they said. I don't know the facts.
From Will's face and his whole demeanor, he said, "I was done with you." That's what he said.
You mean after the whole him and her thing, or like just in general with the divorce?
In general,
with the separation.
Yeah, with the separation. When he was like, "I was done with you." And she was like, "Yeah, I didn't think we would ever come back." Yeah. So it's like, all right, cool. So the reason I say that she took advantage of him was because in his head, me and you gonna be together, right? And she probably.
But is she responsible for that?
Because he's so young, yes.
But you acting like he's 16. He's a grown man.
What I'm saying is, he doesn't have the life experiences to know if I'm messing with a married woman, it's a toss of a coin. How does he really know that at 23, 24, 25? You get what I'm saying?
I mean, but how does anybody know that at any age? For real.
She clearly knew they have this life partnership.
I mean, but at the same time, I think y'all thinking Jada was mischievously trying to seduce this guy and get her and then dump him. I don't even think it was like that. I think the situation was she was done with Will. She wanted to pursue anything else to make her feel good. It happened to be this young man who she had grown close to because she was helping him get on his feet and everything. Then she like, oh, this might be something. Let me see what it's about. I don't think she's opposed to being with the younger man. Okay. And then it just so happened that through that, because unfortunately, feelings are temporary and they feel strong as shit when you in them. But then once you get there, you're like, that's really.
So I don't think she was actually over him though, because
it's like, first of all, let's also take into consideration Jada and Will have been together since they were babies.
25 years.
Babies. So if this is like, she's been through so much with this one person, how does she know what it's like to be with other people? Not saying she ain't never been with nobody else, but in her adult life, how does she know these feelings aren't real? They feel real. And taken advantage of is if she would have just plucked him off and like, oh, no more access to me. It wasn't even like that. He still was welcoming their family and everything.
I think taking advantage of doesn't have to be premeditated. That's what I think me and you are missing each other. Like, even if you.
What was the taking advantage part? Having sex with him, or pursue, or allowing him to pursue you at all, be in a relationship with you at all?
I just think the fact that he was in a vulnerable spot.
And Jada was not vulnerable?
She's older. I don't care about
her. So older women can't be vulnerable?
I'm not saying she can't be vulnerable, but if it comes to a naive person being vulnerable and an older person being vulnerable...
Jada could be naive too. She's been in a marriage for 25 some odd years, and she wants to feel happy again. Maybe, I don't know, I'm just making this up. Maybe Will wasn't paying her no attention. You know, she ain't felt loved in a while. And then this little young thing come up making you feel ways you ain't felt in years, and you're like, damn, I really am enjoying this. Maybe this is something I should consider. It don't gotta be malicious. It don't gotta be like, you know what, I'm gonna fuck his life up. You know what? That's how y'all making it sound like she was trying to fuck his life up.
She became his lifeline, right? If you become somebody's lifeline, that is.
What you mean lifeline?
If you nurse him back to health and then start a relationship with him and then do all this stuff, he's looking to you like you're my everything. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't know that though.
Because I'm only inferring this.
Okay, even if he was looking to her like that. Mm-hmm. I get that. Maybe he was. But that is not Jada's fault.
It is if you literally... Because she said, I'm always looking for people to fix. I'm always looking to people to mother and all sort of stuff. So you pretty much...
So she has her own trauma as well as this young man has trauma. Right. And just because Jada's older doesn't mean she's free from being in a trauma situation or free from being toxic because of the trauma she has.
What I'm saying is the event...
But why are we judging her more harshly than him?
Than August? What did August do?
I mean, because the situation can also be that he preyed on a vulnerable woman.
How?
You came through with your young ass peen. You came through with your young ass peen.
I'm done.
You seen the picture? He came through.
First of all, that was the most disgusting I've ever seen in my life. Second of all, how is he possibly going to take advantage of her?
If he sent her that picture, he was taking advantage.
That doesn't even make sense. I hate you so
he
much.
Was like, Jada.
I bet we'll talk about I didn't have the girth to... I said the girth was...
Don't say girth.
I said the girth.
Yeah, I didn't like that word choice either.
Why would you say that?
It made me very uncomfortable. Aside from that, the fact that he would say girth on.
I said, why would he say girth? That
was an odd word.
That's a very odd word.
And that was making us think like, okay,
he couldn't measure up.
Yeah.
He didn't have the girth.
And then, okay, let's entertain that. What if that was the issue?
That wasn't the issue.
What if that was the issue?
I don't
Exactly.
You're not supposed to go
August he's just so innocent. He's an innocent doe that doesn't know anything.
I didn't say he was innocent. What I said was he
was taken advantage of like a baby bird in the street.
One understanding of the situation, because when people boo loving and stuff, they say, "Oh, this might be for everything, this, that, and the third." I'm just going off of how when he came out to Angela Yee and stuff, he was really like distraught. That's why I believe you from
that happens when you get entangled with a woman who put that thing on you.
He had to cut her off to the fact.
I feel like if Jada was younger, this would be a totally different discussion.
It would be, but she's not. So you have.
But first of all, age does not denote maturity, especially emotional maturity. It does not. It's some 50-year-old males who still can't use "I feel when you" statements.
But they still should be treated as
what she should be and what she actually is different. And we need to be looking at what she is and what she was transparent with us about, which was that she has issues she needs to work on. She got her own daddy issues and stuff too.
I was so sick. Like, what? So you gonna bring that in a time like this? You're gonna bring that in a time like this? It's not even about you right now. Like, why are you trying to hijack the conversation? Like, I don't
think she was hijacking the conversation. I think she was setting a precedent for where her mind was emotionally. See, I think it's hard for men to understand what it is to be in a relationship and what it is when you're not being emotionally, fed in a relationship, because maybe y'all don't see the same thing as women. But it's comparable to a man having to go his whole relationship without a physical connection to his wife.
So I'm not even
and then you get to a point. Oh yeah, I'm just saying in general. Okay. And then you get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm willing to have anybody just touch my shoulder at this point. Like, just touch a shoulder, rub my elbow.
Jada could have anybody.
But you don't. First of all, I feel like that's a myth that celebrities can have anybody, because while she will have access to everybody, everybody is not.
Handle her celebrity.
Everybody can't handle her celebrity. She got a family. She got an image. She can't just go for anybody. And usually, it's the people closest to you that really you.
I think image-wise, it just looks terrible.
It looks terrible, but I mean,
if it was on the other foot and Will was there and it was a young woman that the family helped.
I do agree.
First of all, nurse back to health.
Stop saying they nursed him back.
That's what she said. She said he was really messed up. They nursed him back to health. She suckled from the teeth. Like what?
Yo.
And then you end up screwing him and then screwing him over pretty much.
How was he screwed over though?
Because he stopped talking to her because she told him like, yo, I'm going back to this partnership thing.
Yeah, that
caught him completely off guard, because I thought we was in this together. Bad match for life. I thought we was
okay. So all right, let's talk about the fact that this happened 4.5 years ago, and he's just now bringing it up now.
I don't think
you don't think
years ago.
They said it. They all said it. All three of them said it.
No, they just said it happened a long time ago. I don't think
literally, Jada and Will said it happened 4 to 4.5 years ago. August said it happened a few years ago.
I think a few years ago.
A few years ago, like 3-4 years ago.
He was just on a Red Table Talk in 2018.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. So if you wanted to get some,
they were still talking at that time.
That's what I'm saying. So if you wanted to get some weird shit out, I don't think they was messing with each other though.
They stopped because she said she hasn't talked to him since he stopped talking to her. That was
okay. So if you had to get this off your chest, why choose to talk to Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club? Why not go to Jada or Will and talk to them? Why did you have to make it public when you had an album coming out or CD or whatever?
But he don't mess with them. Obviously, he don't mess with
them. But what did he hope to accomplish by telling the world about this thing between him and Jada?
He didn't go in depth. He did.
He didn't. But name dropping at all. Why?
To get off his chest.
But you a hurt little baby bird. Why are you even? So what are you doing?
He's the victim. Og is the victim. Don't start victim shaming. He is the victim.
It's not even about victim shaming. It's literally about an opportunist. He's like, I got an album coming out. I had this thing that happened with Jada. Let me trump this up to make it seem like it was something more than what it was.
Truth is truth. He didn't trump it up. It was what it was. Truth is truth.
I mean, but he made that the focal point instead of his damn song. That's why we still don't know what's the song he came out with. We don't know because this whole shit going on with Jada.
Well, business is old.
But it's like that compiled with the fact that Jada, I feel like, was very transparent when she didn't have to. She could have let the blog say
was
whatever.
She transparent?
I feel like she was.
How? She wasn't even
I'm putting myself in her situation. If that was me, I don't owe the public a motherfucking thing.
But you on the red table, so you giving us what you owe us then.
I mean, but she doesn't like. Let's say she just skipped over it and didn't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Then that'd have been better. That'd have been cool. But if you come, like if we talk,
but that's what I'm saying. She didn't have to say anything. I think the fact that she said something wasn't because she was like wanting to go back and forth with Og. I think it was more so. That she wanted to show what marriage is. Like, marriage ain't
I don't think that's
cookie cutter.
I think
your favorite married couple been through. They did the same thing to Beyonce and Jay-Z when they found out the whole thing with them. It was like, oh, why she ain't leave his ass? First of all, you've been with the same nigga who cheated on you 7 times, who don't make shit, who don't do shit. But y'all wondering why Beyonce didn't leave Jay-Z? Are you serious? Because people was like, oh, Will should have left her. What?
No, I don't think Will should have left her. Okay. So let's make a pivot. Let's make a pivot to that because Will was really frustrated.
He was.
You can see it in his face.
I think he was uncomfortable because no man wants to talk about his wife sleeping with somebody else. I don't think it was a frustration.
Because he wanted her to say like
it was a relationship.
No, it's like yeah, say what it was. Say what because she still to this day didn't say we had sex.
But at the same time, it's like
an entanglement. An entanglement of all the words. That's a stretch. Like, what bag you had to reach that and take that word out of?
I mean, he said, "Girl, she can say entanglement."
We had an entanglement.
I mean, it was. I just feel like she was uncomfortable in general.
She brought herself to the table. You gotta get uncomfortable.
Because I feel like she wanted to say something, but she also didn't want to. Like, she didn't want to be that public with her.
Bring yourself to the table.
I mean, but she wanted to say something. It's not like they wrote a script.
I agree.
One thing that I also wanted to say about this whole situation is that, like, I hate this whole, and this is like not even just on the Will and Jada and August thing. It's more just on marriages in general. Like, I hate this whole thing in society that is like, if you leave him, you weak. You ain't down for him. You're not riding. If you stay, you stupid. He cheated on you. You should fucking left his ass. And then it's like, we are not in no position to tell somebody what's enough for them or how much they should endure. Like, different people are willing to endure different things for different people. Like, even from mate to mate. What I endured from my last dude, I'm not enduring from this dude, or vice versa. So we can't really say, oh, Will should have left her, or she should have did this, or she should have did that. It's their relationship. And when I was saying the thing about her being transparent, like I said, I don't think she had to say anything at all. I think she wanted to say something because they like to be representative of what black marriages are. The real part, not that Hollywood shit where everything is fucking stars and rainbows. Right. Like, this is what shit go through. Like, you get to a point where it's like, I'm fucking done. Like, I'm done with this. I'm done with you for life. And then the fact that they were able to come back together and reconcile, it's still, I mean, they are together. They're not together.
No, I mean, it's like, look like about the mix in that joint.
I don't think so. I think they were just uncomfortable because it's so like
frustrated.
It's like you getting on camera with your wife and talk about one of y'all biggest fights. That's awkward as fuck.
Yeah, I get it, but
like,
if it bring up old, it's like, so...
I don't think it bring up old feelings.
His eyes was red, yo.
I mean, I think his eyes been red since he said damn it.
Oh my god, no.
I really don't. I think he was uncomfortable. I'm not saying. I think they were both uncomfortable. That's why he said girth and she said entanglement, because they didn't want. It's hard to say that to each other, let alone a fucking America.
See, he tried to make a little joke about it, like, oh, he feel like the person at the press conference, like, oh, I'm standing by my man or whatever, like that. It was cool, but he can't. He really couldn't hide his emotions.
I mean, because I think for men cheating or their wife sleeping with other men, because I don't think Jada cheated.
I'm glad you said that. So you don't think it was an indiscretion?
No.
So you think that was just cool?
Will didn't think it was indiscretion either.
Yes, he said indiscretion. She was like, no, it's not an indiscretion because I was doing my life journey or something and we were separated and all that stuff.
I don't recall that part. But no, I don't think it was an indiscretion because they mutually said that they were separated. Now, if during that separation they said they weren't going to sleep around and she did, we don't know because they didn't explain that part. They didn't say nothing like that. But according to what they said is like this was a mutual thing and then she got in a relationship. Maybe excuse me, maybe it wasn't a thing where she could have gotten in a relationship. Maybe you could mess around but no relationships, right. And then Jada went and got in a relationship, so that would made it different. Yeah. Now that part I do think is a little like, sis, that you going out of a marriage into a relationship. But again, when a woman is vulnerable, you be surprised. Like, why are we not allowed to mess up when we're vulnerable? Like, I'm so confused. Why do we have to be strong black women all the time?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the way y'all pin niggas to the wall for
the 10th time they cheated.
No, for any little thing.
What you mean?
If a nigga text a female, he a cheater, he a dog, leave his ass. If he like a butt
But aren't they saying the same thing about Jada?
She had a relationship with a sick baby bird.
But they were separated. It's like that episode of Friends with Ross and I don't know the chick name. I'm not really that good on Friends. I was into Living Single. But where he was like, we were on a break. It's like that situation. Bitch, we was on a break. What happens on a break, stay on a break.
That's not true at all. People have break babies, and that's not...
Whoa.
You never had a break baby?
No.
People having babies on break? No, anyway. But, no, I think it was indiscretion for real, because... If a separation, it's a life partnership, so I don't know their rules and regulations to their life partnerships and stuff. I know they're not swingers because they're very key with their words, and I like how they key with their words. They said we're not swingers, so that means we don't play no 2-on-2. It's not we switching out at dinner and stuff. But that don't mean that they're not still messing around. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, but that don't mean that they are either.
That's true. But this is just the way they word stuff. Like when they say we're in life partnership.
I think they're saying that because they're beyond. I'm thinking they're saying they're beyond like what it is traditionally to be a husband and wife.
When Will said, "I'm gonna get you back," and she like,
I think he was just joking. He was a little petty. Men
he
are petty.
wasn't hurt.
But I don't think he was saying it like I'm gonna go sleep with somebody. I think he was saying it like, oh, you ain't get no yams until whatever or something like that. Not saying that's what he did, but I'm saying like he was saying it along that lines within their relationship. Not he gonna get her back. Like, really, you gonna cheat back, nigga? Like, maybe, when I got with you, you had a whole fuck.
We don't like partnership, so you're not going nowhere, right? So I got you. I'm gonna get you back.
I mean, but then is that what we're gonna be doing with the rest of our lives?
They got like partnership.
Just cheating and cheating and cheating and
they're not going nowhere.
Entanglement after entanglement.
Entanglement after entanglement. They ain't going nowhere. So
I mean,
I think that's
in conclusion. I just feel like every couple is allowed to decide what works for them and their relationship. And even though it don't look like you and yours or your spiritual relationship and your husband is also this or your wife is also that, doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong. If it works for them, it works for them.
So how do you think their marriage gonna look from here on out?
I think their marriage look fine. Like it's like, I feel like it's this perception that you get married and nothing ever happens. You just live happily ever after. You know how much shit married people go through?
Yeah, no,
like,
right. But the way
I feel like you go through more shit with your husband than any boyfriend you ever had.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, but I get what you're saying.
You ain't never had a girlfriend?
No, I never had a boyfriend or a husband.
Okay, you go through more shit with your wife than any girlfriend you've ever had, because it's like, I'm growing, I'm learning, and even though yes, Jada and Will are up there in age, they literally only been with each other since they were young, so that means they are like each other's measurement for how they grow and mature. Well, maybe if Jada isn't that emotionally immature, maybe Will isn't either.
Jada always compared Will to Tupac.
I think that's speculation. She's never come out and say, I'm comparing him to Tupac. I mean, I did think that was a little, you know what I mean, with the whole Tupac situation. But I mean, he never spoke out about it or said he felt no type of way.
See, and that's the thing about Will. You never see Will off his kilter. Like, you never see him ruffled. And he was legit, genuinely ruffled. So that's
because it's uncomfortable for a man to speak about his wife having sex with somebody else, regardless of whether it was already reconciled or not. If you reconcile, you still like, you want to talk about that? I don't want to talk about that.
I'm over it.
Yeah, even if you what? Nigga pie. LaQuaine is lying.
I'm not insecure.
Yo, I wish his wife, first of all, his wife is my cousin, and I know damn sure she would agree that if anything ever happened with her in August.
She asked me that. She said,
and what'd you say? I
said, I don't care.
You a whole lot.
She said, would you take me back if something like this happened? And I said, maybe. I mean,
maybe.
It depends on if he was in our circle. If he was in our circus, that's my young bull, and you be my young bull. No, I don't know. That's crazy.
But why does that make a difference?
Because that's my young bull.
So
I'm giving him game, life lessons. I'm shooting him and teaching him how to shoot baskets. And then I taught you that move. Don't use the move that I don't use the og. I got a nickname for him, and no, that's corny.
Yo.
That's the only corny part. I don't care if it was anybody else, but my young bull, and like Will actually, I feel like that hurt him too, because like the compound helped get him together. It's not just like Jada or
the compound.
Willow, everybody. They said everybody helped to bring him back to
health.
Okay. So I have to get a relationship with you if I'm helping you nurse you back to health, and then that's the one you're gonna sleep with of everybody. Him, my young bull, my son's friend. That could be my son.
If Will was doing what he was supposed to do as a husband, would this even be a problem? Would she be unhappy? Would she be unfulfilled? Would she be emotionally distraught? Would she be emotionally inept? I'm just saying. We always want to talk about the reaction that the black woman had, but we never want to talk about what the fuck provoked her to that reaction.
But first of all, you don't know.
We always talk about how she keyed his car and bleached his clothes, but we ain't never talking about all the chicks she done caught him with. I'm just saying. What you mean?
Handle it differently.
Yo, I'm done. Black women gotta take trauma and crazy shit on the strength of.
It's not true. Y'all don't have to. Y'all choose to.
We choose to because we want to rock with y'all, because we don't want to leave y'all and opt to just date other races and just X y'all out completely like y'all do us. But that's another conversation.
First of all, a lot of the people that bleach, key, and all that stuff, they don't do that to their husband. They do that to boyfriends.
Do you have anything else you want to add? I mean, I think that was a good conversation. I think we just go ahead and agree to disagree. Yeah. I don't think Jada was taking advantage of him. I think that this is what happens when you date a married woman or when you get an entanglement with a married woman. Like, it's Russian roulette of the heart, dog. Don't go in there with your heart all wide open, when you don't know where this is going to go. And now he has a life lesson, and he will learn from this, and he will grow.
He said, if it ended today, he good. He said,
like his life?
Yeah, my life ended today. I'm good.
So this is an emotionally unstable person in general.
That's how you took advantage of him.
No.
That's where I'm coming from. If you have sex with a suicidal John and then she kill herself on base of you did it. Like, that's on you.
How?
You're not supposed to do that. You gotta see your boundaries and know you have with great power comes great responsibilities. I seen Jada in that bathing suit. She got some power. No. So she got a lot of responsibility.
And you seeing his picture too. Care about that picture. You seen this? Y'all know, I'm going to see if I can insert the picture. I'm going to insert the picture over Laquay. Y'all see this picture. Look at this picture. Look at this picture. He sent this picture to Jada's phone. And now he mad? Boy, you better go somewhere. That is not a little boy, a little baby bird picture. That's not a little baby. That's not a little innocent baby bird picture.
In closing, I feel like just last week or just like a few months ago, they was goals. They was marriage goals.
They still marriage goals to me.
Right. So, I mean, people are changing it now because of all this stuff that happened, but...
That's because they have this perception that marriage is amazing and nothing ever happens and y'all just live happily ever after and y'all don't go through anything.
A life partnership is the goal, hypothetically. You're supposed to want the best for your partner regardless of anything.
I like the fact that they even, like, towards the end of the Red Table Talks, they got to talking about that. Like, you have to go through...
That whole part was fake.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. But I'm just talking about what they said.
Okay.
You have to mess up to know what you're willing to endure. Like, you have to go there to... Like, you have to cross boundaries to learn that that's not a boundary you can cross. And until you cross it...
You out here.
And that's what marriage is. Marriage is seeing, like, how far we're going to go with each other. Sometimes it goes far, and sometimes it's like, yeah, no, I'm not rocking after that. So... And I don't think you're more or less of a person whether you say, I'm going to rock with you still, or whether you say, no, I've had enough.
Right. No, I agree with that. And I do think they are still goals. Life partnership sounds deep.
Black couple goals.
Yeah, I wouldn't say.
They're not black? They're black?
No, I'm saying I wouldn't say, like, I don't want no August in my life. August can stay where he at.
Yo.
But, I'm about to skip the whole month for August. I don't even July, September.
I can't.
Over the whole thing. August, stay where you at.
Anyway, we'll see you in the next episode of the Unfiltered Podcast.
August, that makes my wife. Bye.